Welcome to another episode of the Oakland Athletics franchise here on MLB The Show 23. It's time for the Midland Rockhounds to begin their title defense and continue giving the organization something to hang their hat on as they take on the Amarillo SOD Poodles in the first round of the postseason. At Main Street Field at home, it's a rainy day. Brennan Malone on the mound, the 6'4", 205-pound pitcher opposing Jackson Goddard, who is 6'3", 220. Goddard up against Drew Reese, the little meatball they like to call him. Sometimes they call him the stocky meatball. It doesn't matter what you call him. He's a meatball and he's hitting bombs. That one's over the left field wall as the Midland Rockhounds take the early lead in this series with a 92 exit velo from the meatball. And Reese gets this game out to a good start for Midland. They're up 2-0. Evan Carter later on puts this right down the left field line all the way into the corner. He's going to score another RBI. 3-0 Midland. This is a huge start for him, and Ricky Cousins, one of the draft picks in this series, is going to do his part right there down in left center field. That drives two more home, and he's safe at second. It's 8-0 later on in the top of the ninth, and there is the final grab as the Rockhounds with a statement 8-0 Game 1 performance. Malone was incredible, and of course, the meatball with a couple of ribbies on a bomb. So in game number 2, on an actual nice day, could Midland continue this performance? 6'5", 225, 19-year-old Roger Feliciano on the hill. There's Deshaun Knowles, and he's the leadoff hitter, but here it's the bottom of the third, picking up a ribby on a bloop single with two away. Feliciano up against Cuba Bess, and Bess gets it down in front of the meatball out in left field. And the throw is not in time, so we got a tie ball game in the top of the fourth. Camden Duzanak hits this into center field. He's got a knack for that. This is the throw home, and it is in time as Susak gets the tag on. So, little meatball now trying to get a ribby, and that's just not going to happen in the bottom of the sixth. So through 6, Amarillo up 2-1. Tommy Henry coming in to pitch now. And he is trying to close this thing out for the SOD Poodles. Manuel Tavares, the best hitter on our team this year for Midland, gets himself not only the single, but he gets himself thrown out at second. So that brings up Oliver Kennedy, and that's a hit into right field as Kennedy finds himself on first. Would have been nice to have 2 on, nobody out. But here's little meatball dribbling one down to third base. He is thrown out at first. That's 2 away, but the tying run is on second for Evan Carter, and that's right into the shortstop's glove. That will end the ball game 2-1 as the Amarillo SOD Poodles go ahead and tie the series in game number 2. They steal one on the road against Feliciano and company. So now on the road, Wagon Man Stadium, series tied at 1, facing Felix Rodriguez, a 30-year-old playing in Double-A. He will oppose our Hans Kraus, the 6'4", 180-pound pitcher. And this one for Jorge Barrosa in the bottom of the third is hit super deep, and Carter, it comes right off of his glove. To me, that's an error, but bases bombed with 1 away for Gavin Conticello, and no way, a grand salami sandwich for Conticello, a 107 exit velo, and the SOD Poodles putting a statement on here at home. Drew Reese, the little meatball, comes up, puts it down the right field line. He has been huge so far in this series for Midland. That not only scores 1, but it will score 2, as it will cut the lead down to 4-2, but it's 6-2 later on when Evan Carter takes one down the right field line into the corner. Carter will get 1 to score, not sending the runner from third this time. That was up against Tom Silver. Silver still in. Jeremy Ironman gets this one right up the middle. They will not get him out, but attempting to score 2 runs, it's not going to happen. What a tag by the catcher. Manuel Tavares in a 6-4 game with 2 on, and Tavares with a huge home run. He has been big all season. He has had a great year. He's been the best hitter in AA for us, and that's his 2nd homer of the postseason, as it gives Midland their first lead of the game, and their first lead since game number 1. But bad news, rain delay. New pitcher's going to come in, and it is Jebediah Pimpersheem. This is a prospect we're really excited about. 6'5", 22 years old. Brought him in trade, and right away gets the ground ball to Kennedy. What a throw. Looking like a Nolan Arenado out there at third. That'll bring up Blake Hunt here in the bottom of the 7th. Look at Pimpersheem just getting the frustrations out of these Amarillo SOD Poodles. Douglas Ring up there to hit, and that's right to Tavares. In foul territory, makes the catch. We're through 7 to the bottom of the 8th. Look at this, just looking at it. That's Jashawn Robinson, and he is pissed he didn't swing. That'll bring in Damon Lucero to close this thing out. 5'11", 211, the 22-year-old up against Diego Castillo, and this one's hit into left center field. Evan Carter calling him off. He will make the catch for out number 1. 2-1 pitch to Rochester Boyd. I know that's somebody's user player, Rochester Boyd, with a base hit. He puts himself on for Jorge Barrosa, who's attempting to bunt. That is just not a very good job from Barrosa. So Gavin Conticello, could he have some more magic? This is down to Kennedy. Easy throw, and it'll end the game. Conticello hits a grand salami in the game, but it's not enough, as the Rockhounds get a 7-6 win anyway. What a comeback. Hans Kraus goes 5, gives up 6. Not a great performance for him, but with a 2-1 series lead, could the Rockhounds close it out here? Facing Angel Rondon, it is Adrian Martinez, listed as a reliever in game, but he's got such great stamina. We've been using him as a starting pitcher here in AA. There's Cousins trying to start the double play over to Kyron Paris, and over to first base Manuel Tavares. Now bottom of the 3rd, Conticello had a grand slam last game, and here gets a single into shallow left field. Look at this, attempting to score the run, a little greed, and the tag out at the plate by Susak. That'll bring up Deshaun Knowles in the top of the 5th with runners on the corners. This one's hit really far, all the way to the wall, and it is caught. That is about as far as you're going to see Deshaun Knowles hit a baseball. As we're through the middle of the 5th, we go to the bottom half. Look at this, barely tapped. Martinez got a run over, toss it over to Tavares, get the out, but there's 2 in scoring position for Diego Castillo, who hits it to center field. Lolo Sanchez there to make the catch. He's not going to be able to make this throw home, as it doesn't even get there, and Amarillo takes a 1-0 lead with Barrosa up. He hits this thing really deep out there to right. Look at Lolo Sanchez on the run, though. That will end the 5th inning. So Amarillo with that 1-0 lead. Here's one tapped down the first baseline. Tavares makes a crazy tag. Still 2 in scoring position for Blake Hunt up against Joey Estes. This one is called fair. It did not seem that way at the time, but it did hit the white line, and 2 come home for Amarillo. So that'll bring in Heraldo Castro, who has pitched just 1 game in this postseason, and he did a great job. He did his job. He's doing it again. Is Evan Carter going to get this in foul territory? Easy play for the catcher. And that's out number 2. Susak, can he be a hero? No, he cannot, as he will swing through the slider away. And Rondon will pick up the dub. Martinez with the loss after only giving up 1 run. It's unfortunate, but it brings us to the best thing in minor league sports, a Game 5. Jackson Goddard will play again. They're going to bring in their ace, who did not do a great job in game number 1, and Brooke Sohn. We are not going to bring in our ace. We are going to let our 5th starter play this thing. Brooke Sohn, ground ball over to Kyron Paris, back to Tavares, and a nice double play to end the 3rd. We go all the way to the bottom of the 5th. Amarillo, as you see, with a 1-0 lead, but they will not pick up more here as we get through the 5th inning. Brooke Sohn did his job. Jackson Goddard in the game acting like an actual ace this time, but there he'll give up a single to Daniel Susak to tie the game at 1. We go to the top of the 9th. Off Ortega, it's Lolo Sanchez, and unfortunately, we might go to extras if Pimpersheen can get us there, but he's going to walk Junior Franco. And that puts one on for Cuba Bess, who will tap one down the first baseline. He is tagged out. A lot of that going on in this episode. But runner on second for Camden Duzenak, and Susak behind the plate here to the left. Going to pick that one up. Nice catch. We got Luis Acosta, and he takes the curveball away. That gets us into extra innings. Kyron Paris up at the plate with the extra runner on second. And this one's hit deep out to right, but it is caught. Extra runner will tag up, get his way to third with one away for Deshaun Knowles, who hits the grounder, and that's an easy put-away ball. It'll bring up Tavares, our best hitter. He gets jammed. It goes out to left, and look at the range on the shortstop. As we go to the bottom of the 10th, it's Jebediah Pimpersheen. This one gets past Kennedy, who tried diving to get it. No attempt to score there from third. That's Rochester Boyd hitting leadoff today, and he strikes out swinging. Jason Robertson, and he strikes out swinging as Jorge Mercedes came in after the hit. And this is Diego Castillo. Could Mercedes retire 3 straight to get out of it? Yes, he can. We are done with the 10th. We go to the top of the 11th. Oliver Kennedy hits this thing right over second base. Perfect bloop. That puts runners on the corners for the little meatball, who unfortunately will strike out here from Michel Otanez. That'll bring up Evan Carter, though, right into the glove of the shortstop. Don't tell me we get no runs here. Daniel Susak with the hit into left field over third base. Susak comes up with his second RBI of the game. That brings up Cesar Fernandez, who hits this thing out to center field. Long run, but an easy catch for the center fielder. Damon Lucero's got to come in and close this thing out. He hasn't been great against righty hitters, but here he'll get him to pop fly right to Susak, who will make that play. That'll bring up Junior Franco, who just takes the slider away. And there you go. He doesn't like it. We don't care. And Cuba Best's going to go down looking. And Damon Lucero has gotten the Midland Rockhounds to the championship series. We'll find out who it's going to be. And it will be a rematch against the Tulsa Drillers. We beat them last year. We'll see if we can do it again as the Oakland Athletics play their final regular season game at home against the Seattle Mariners. And guess who gets to start it? It's Yuri Perez. He will oppose Luis Castillo, who of course is having a great season as usual. Bucky Carver in the bottom of the first with runner on first base, gets one so perfectly it rolls slowly all the way up to the wall, and that will score the runner all the way from first. Nice RBI double. Later, bottom second, Tyler Soderstrom takes this thing deep to right field and over the wall, and we love seeing that from Sodi. We need him to be a good catcher in the future. That's his 4th home run of the season. Freddie Freeman up at the plate, and he gets this one past Groshans, who is playing shortstop now. And there's the throw home. Not in time. They cut the lead in half. Tim Anderson up at the plate, and this one right in front of Reggie Rossi. An attempt to score. The tag is not in time from Soderstrom. It's a 3-2 game in the top of the 4th. J.P. Crawford hits one right in front of Givens. Givens can't make the throw home. And we're tied at 3. Now Ken Waldachuk in the game. Freddie Freeman getting a bloop single here. A lot of bloops from Seattle, and that will go for another RBI. Jock Peterson, that's not a bloop. That's a liner perfectly between Tapia and Givens. That's going to score 1. They're going to attempt to score the runner from third. The throw is not in time. It's 6-3 Seattle. Bucky Carver did some work earlier, but here he does some work for Seattle, getting the double play to end the 8th. Jason Givens in the bottom of the 9th strikes out swinging against Andres Munoz. That brings up Jordan Groshans, who takes him deep to left field. Munoz giving up the 2-run bomb, and it's 6-5. The A's, do they have a chance? 7th homer of the year for Jordan Groshans. Love to see it. I'll bring up Reggie Rossi, who will strike out as Paul Sewald came into the game to close it out for his 6th save. So the Athletics finished the season at 68-94, and it is not good enough to make the postseason, quite obviously, and they will not be a part of the postseason. But there were some things to enjoy this season. Bucky Carver only missed 1 game all year, and he hit .250 with 20 dongs. Raimel Tapia hit .270, as we were hoping he would. Seth Brown cracked 31 long balls, and Leo Farrell continued to show out somehow. Unfortunately, it was another injury-riddled season for Reed Hoffman, though. He did get 123 games in this time. Our top OPS man this season was Thomas Rodriguez in his 219 ABs, but Seth Brown was right there in a much larger sample size. Our top WAR man was Leo Farrell. Wild. On to pitching, and Gunnar Hoglund was used and abused out of the pen before becoming a starter later in the year. And he did great in my opinion. Suarez was the ace as he should be, and watch out for Gavin Williams, whose career is off to a very nice start with a 2.77 ERA and a 1.14 WHIP in 65 innings this year. Yuri Perez and his career are off to just a bit of a slower start, but he'll be fine. The Fujinami experiment, though, might be nearing its end, but for some reason he was actually our 2nd WAR pitcher. I'm not quite sure how, to be honest. The ERA is average at best. WHIP, not even that great. And I even checked the FIP, and it's nothing that wild. Final standings have the Orioles win the East with only 83 wins. The Blue Jays get a wild card. No Yankees in the postseason this year. Guardians win the Central with 89 wins, and the Twins get a wild card. And then, of course, the Astros win 104 games as the Rangers get top wild card with 93 wins. In the NL, the Braves win 102, Phils win 100, Cubbies win the Central with 91 wins, while the Cards are a wild card. Padres win 103 to win the West over the Dodgers, who won 98 games. Quick check-ins, Jace Peterson had a 7.76 OPS this season, which might be a slight improvement over his midseason traded numbers, while Dylan Floro continued to pitch lights out when he was traded to Miami. I'm not upset debuting Yuri Perez in the majors, though. Gary Sanchez continued to be awful, as did Lucas Giolito and James Kaprelian. Their seasons were their seasons, so thanks for Gavin Williams, Cleveland. There is your MLB playoff bracket. Who you got? Let me know in the comments section below. Who do you think wins the World Series? We will have the Midland Rockhounds defending their title against the Tulsa Drillers and some Major League awards coming up in the next episode, and I might even throw in a peek via graphic at some of your prospects. We shall see. Continue supporting this series with likes, shares, comments, please. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you, channel members, for going above and beyond every single time. And in case no one has told you guys today, I love you, FG fam.